So now for adding fractions. Now notice with these fractions, we do have different denominators. We have a 4 and a 5. So back in the olden days, right, 5th, 4th grade, we would do least common denominators. We'd have a bunch of work on our page, over 20, and then what times what makes 20, and then multiply that times the other one. Okay, we did all of that work. Well, there's an easier way of doing it. It's multiply the diagonals and then multiply the denominators, okay? Now, the fancy little math phrase that we'll use is crisscross straight across, okay? So we're going to start by multiplying the diagonals. That's going to be the crisscross pattern, right? So we start with 3 times 5. What does that make? That makes 15. Now, when we're taking our notes, we're going to go ahead and write this down. But when we're actually doing this, we're just going to hold this number in our brain, the 15, okay? And now next, the other diagonal, the other crisscross would be 4 times 2, and that's going to make an 8. So we're holding the 15 and the 8 in our head, and then we're going to add these two numbers together. 15 plus 8, that's going to make 23. That's going to be your numerator. Okay, now we're going to multiply the diagonal. So we're going to go 4 times 5, and that's going to equal 20. And we're done. This is it. This is as fast as, well, we should be able to do it faster if we're not doing all this writing down and learning, right? After we get good at it, we can do this automatic. Okay, so crisscross straight across. Multiply 3 times 5 is 15, 4 times 2 is 8. Add those two numbers. There's your numerator. There's the multiply the diagonals and add. And then the straight across is multiply the denominators. 4 times 5 makes 20. So now on this one here where you have the 4 and the 5, they don't have any common factors. Okay, if you do have common factors or the 15 is a multiple of 5, least common denominator is actually going to be a faster method. Okay, so part of math is identifying which is the best method for doing this, adding fractions in this case here, right? So this least common denominators would be the best, right? 5 times 3 makes 15. So then 2 times 3 would make a 6. So now I just go 7 plus 6 is 13 over 15. So when you have something that looks like this, where one of your denominators is a multiple of another, then least common denominator will actually be faster, okay? But if they're mutually prime, like 4 and 5, crisscross straight across. So go ahead and try this one out on your own. Pause the video, write the answer somewhere on your page, then come on back and see how you did. So here we go, crisscross straight across. We're going to start with 2 times 5, that makes 10. 2 times 5, that makes 10. Hold that number in our brains. 3 times 1 is 3. So we got 10 and 3, and we're adding those in our head. 10 and 3 make 13 when we add them together. So we have 13 for our numerator. And then for the denominator of our answer, 3 times 5, that's the straight across, is going to make a 15 there. So 13 over 15 would be our answer there when we multiply the denominators.